Hi everyone! In this video I will be discussing obsessive compulsive disorder. OCD is a condition that is characterized by recurrent thoughts and repetitive behaviors. I think everyone can have some OCD tendencies, but for some it can be very severe, especially when it begins to take a large portion of your day just to do basic things, or when someone has very bad habits and addictions that are affecting their quality of life. So I'm going to go over some of my obsessions and compulsions. So let's start with obsessions. They are thoughts, ideas, and impulses that are recurrent. Obsessions can lead to compulsions. I've always been very obsessive about things. Most of my obsessive nature comes from being a perfectionist. I am very thorough with things. Everything has to be perfect, and when they're not, it greatly annoys me. But since perfection is unrealistic, it causes a lot of stress. I am incredibly organized. Things have to be in some kind of order. I'm sure a lot of people can tell from these videos just how organized I am. I mean, I try to lay everything out in an easy to follow manner. Plus, I make sure my videos are organized into playlists that are relevant to the topic. But I'd say this is a good thing since it allows the wonderful people who watch my videos to find what they're looking for and in an organized manner. I have to have everything perfect. It needs to be. That's how I am. If I cannot decide which category something fits into, this causes me a lot of distress. There have been times due to my perfectionism that I don't even bother to do something since I don't know how to properly organize it. I also tend to plan too far into the future. I would go out of my way to try and develop the final version of something before doing the initial rough drafts, and this is very annoying. I am always thinking about my spelling and grammar. For example, when I send a message to someone, I constantly think about if I worded things correctly, spelled things right, if the person it was intended for will read it as I intended it to be read. This leads to compulsions as well, since I will go back to the message even in the middle of the night at times to make sure everything is correct. No matter how many times I keep checking and realizing it is correct, I think constantly about the message until I hear a reply. What used to happen was when I didn't hear back from someone, I would think they hated me because I worded something incorrectly, spelled something wrong. I have worked through this since it really doesn't bother me any longer, but still, it is very distressful. I overanalyze everything, thinking of many different outcomes to situation that a situation can take. I'll talk about overthinking in a separate video since it can be very dangerous. Compulsions are repetitive behaviors, sometimes performed to reduce anxiety and stress, often a habit or addiction. For a basic example, someone can play with their hair when they are nervous or bite their nails out of habit. Sometimes the person may not even be aware of their compulsions, and breaking the habit can be extremely difficult, but it is possible. Some things I do are constantly turning on and off the back porch light. I do not do it a set number of times like some people may. Rather, I just check outside at night for no reason, multiple times, not in a row or anything. Sometimes not even aware that I turned on the light and am looking outside. One reason I think I do this is to see if anyone is out there. Not that there ever is, but just in case, I guess. Another thing I do on a computer is when I'm reading something, I constantly right-click or will highlight the text on and off while reading. Again, sometimes I don't even realize it when I'm doing it, and I've caught myself doing it and say, no, stop that. Just so many other things. My day has to be planned out. I am generally not spontaneous with my day. I have to eat at a certain time. If I don't, then I begin to panic. Whenever there is deviation from my normal routine, it really affects me. I have definitely gotten way better by learning self-restraint and flexibility, which is difficult. I've allowed myself, even if I dislike it, to get out of a routine, which helps. I first realize when I'm doing something and tell myself, don't do it, fighting the urge. And as time went on, it became easier to control to the point where I was no longer doing the things I hated doing repeatedly. It takes time, patience, and perseverance, that's for sure, but it certainly is possible. Just don't give up. So I hope this video was informative. Thanks for watching.